car is ballistic. Oh my actual God. We're interrupting today's video to give a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Tracking Fox.
If, like me, you leave your pride and joy in random car parks, the safety of the car is always paramount when you're not with it. This is where Tracking Fox comes into play. Setting up and installing the Tracking Fox vehicle GPS tracking device can be done in as little as 1 minute. It is very easy to install. The device works on any car manufactured after 1996, and the car tracker is very reliable and provides dependable tracking information that will also allow you to locate your vehicles with ease.
As you can see, the app is showing the location of the car that I'm currently sat in. The GPS tracker is connected just at the bottom there, and the engine is now started. The app has alerted me straight away to the engine being started, and if I drove out of this zone locked location, it would alert me straight away that the car is moving.
The Tracking Fox car tracking device also comes with a 2-year warranty.
Again, massive thank you to the guys at Tracking Fox for sponsoring today's video. There is a link in the description. Check these guys out. If you have a pride and joy just like me and you dump it pretty much wherever you can most of the time, this is the perfect app GPS tracker for you. A thank you to Tracking Fox for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the action. Mate, even in like 5th gear, you plant it and that back end, it doesn't squat down, but bloody hell does it just get moving. Do you know what it is? It's a really hot day today. It's, well, let's say really hot, 23.5 degrees, and that isn't the hottest day going, but the tarmac's nice and hot today, and this car is just an absolute weapon in these conditions. I know in subsequent conditions in the winter it's going to be a little bit of a different story, don't get me wrong, but what I've done in, you know, the initial part of this video, and really what I did yesterday, was really fine-tune how I want this car to be. As we come up to a little bit of traffic, I'll talk about it now. So you have M1 and M2 modes on the steering wheel. M1 is what I've set up to be my sort of dailyable, enjoyable platform in the settings to actually enjoy this thing from day to day. So we have what I believe the best settings for an M car, which is Sport Plus in the severity of how the throttle response feels, you know, just how the pickup will come in. The severity of the gearbox is on its highest setting, and the steering feel is in sport. So there's a little bit of weight in it, but not loads of weight. That's the best scenario, as well as the suspension being in comfort. That is the goal here. I am an old man, so I want my M car, or at least performance car, to be comfy, but to be nimble and exciting and, you know, really feel good. Now, I can actually take this and change it as much as I can, as you guys will full well know. In these M cars, you can change pretty much anything stability-wise. The stability is, in fact, still on in this setting as well. So it lets you slip a little bit. It does bring the traction control in here and there. But I have found that that is the best way to enjoy this car, where there is slight bits of slip, but not enough slip so you hurt yourself. Do you know what I mean? So 3rd gear roll on. It just hunkers and gets that power to the floor. Now we talk about power. I haven't really gone through the mods on this car. It's around 500 to 520 brake horsepower with a stage 1 remap on it. Again, I'm not going to say they are proof figures whatsoever, although I might have used them in the title. I will be dynoing this with AET Motorsport. We will, of course, be extracting more power, because I can't help myself, and I am that silly that I want to put more power through my rear wheel drive M4. Of course, that was, of course, the thing to do, isn't it? You know, AET have actually just put hybrid turbos on there, so yeah, we'll see, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, this sort of power figure, you know, mid 400s they come out the factory with, this one being, you know, a little bit more spicier. It really does just make it. It really makes the car. I'm not saying they're crap from the factory. Even there, you can hear a little wiggle from the rear end, just squatting and trying to, you know, find traction through them 275 width rear tyres. It does put its power down though in these conditions. I have already driven this in a cold morning. I literally put my foot down and there was nothing going on. So in, you know, those sort of circumstances, you will of course feel very, very different about the car and its performance. As we come up to a little cyclist here, I'm just going to pass him properly because I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice M car. Did you see that? I use the indicator as well. A lot of people out there are like, oh, you're going to take the indicator fluid out of the indicator bulbs as well, are you? But yeah, jokes aside, this car is absolutely biblical. I know a lot of people out there that still don't understand how and why I went in for this and what my idea is and stuff, but mate, I'm old, I've got kids, I want something fun, I can get away with having a coupe for a bit. Why not? Why not spend the next year in this thing? But drivability is where this car is at. At the moment, in my favourite mode, you know, what I've set up, this is the perfect scenario. Comfy suspension, sport on the steering, sport plus on, you know, pretty much everything else. It's funny because I love to change up my daily driver from the RS3, you know, Dodge Ram, X6. This was sort of one of those cars that I wanted to sort of circle back to. I wasn't really in the mindset to get an M car at the time, having a baby, you know, a lot of things are changing. So I went for the Dodge Ram as, you know, one of those tick off the list sort of cars, or trucks, or, you know, monstrosities, whatever you want to call it. And the idea was always to get an AMG or an M car, and after this I do genuinely want to try an AMG car. I think they're, you know, a lot more expensive than M cars, I feel. You know, for a C63, E63 of the same generation, you know, 15, 16, 17 plates, say, they're a lot more money than these. So I thought this time round I really wanted to go for one of these, and I know I'm going to circle back and say that a lot of people on social media and stuff have these cars. It is for good reason. Oh, this thing's mad. It is for good reason. They are actually that good, and I know there's a lot of people on this channel that have watched sort of me for years. Ballistic car. What a ballistic car. They've watched me for years, and I think the people that have been here since day one will know the progression and what we've really done with this channel. A lot of the, you know, say the newer people maybe from, you know, this year, a couple of years ago, won't necessarily understand, you know, the difference between me buying these cars and what I actually physically do with them, which is, you know, make a video today. Yes, we're first driving it, but, you know, understand this car. I've driven pretty much everything under the sun now, and it sometimes makes it a lot harder for me to actually buy a daily driver. So that's why I want to try everything, and I again plead you guys to go and do the same thing. Spend a year in an M car, spend 6 months in a Dodge Ram, spend a year and a half in an RS3. It will round you, it will make you understand what these cars are like. Years and years ago, I had a Toyota Aristo for, you know, 8-9 months. Absolutely loved it. Would I go back to another one? Probably, if it wasn't a daily driver. You know, I'm old now, I like, you know, big comfy cars. And yes, you know, an Aristo is a very comfy car, don't get me wrong. But the newer refinements of these newer cars and what you're able to do with them is really where I try and pick up the idea that having an M car for a year, year and a half is where it really comes into. And I know some people, again, will not understand why I've bought this car, and, you know, I've even seen comments that I've sold out. I don't get that at all. I, you know, don't really understand that. Or that I've, you know, suddenly made money and now I've got a fancy new car, when the reality is this car was as much as the RS3 and the Dodge Ram was. But you didn't see people crying about how much those cars were. It's very, very strange, this perception of an M car, especially on the social media platforms and YouTube. And that's a very big reality for some people out there. Because of what I do for a living, I am able to switch my cars up, and some people, again, really do not like you buying a new car and selling cars. They hate it. For me, it's the next chapter, it's the next bit of excitement. And if you, again, can own an M car for a year and then jump in a RS3, RS6, then you jump into an E63, I plead you to do it. Don't just be that person that just buys a Focus or just buys an Escort, or, you know, not just Ford related stuff, but just buys a BMW M car, just buys an AMG. Don't do that. Well round yourself with different cars, just like I do. I plead people out there to go and buy something mad for 6 months and then go and buy something relatively normal for 6 months and just enjoy it. Enjoy your cars. This is what we're all here for, and I just wanted to really put that in, you know, especially towards the end of this video, just to remind you guys that we do still have 3 major older builds: the 106 GTI, the Cadillac, and the Series 1 RS Turbo. Those cars are going nowhere. This one will come in, it will make an appearance, it will be my daily driver, you will see it, you will see me enjoy it, and then we'll move on into the next car. And that's really what this channel is about, trying everything. I don't get long-term loan cars, I don't get cars that are given to me for long periods of time by a manufacturer. I have to put my money where my mouth is, just like I've done in this car. I decided I wanted an M car, so I bought one. I didn't, you know, message BMW and ask them for an M car. I went, you know, do you know what? Like all the other people out there that may be in, you know, a financial situation where they can afford a car like this, you're saying to yourself, right, what can I actually do? What's the finance? What's this? What's that? Can I daily drive it? That's what I want to do, and that's what I want to show you guys more than anything. So we will go into financial statistics and how much this car is to run in the first month of me actually owning it. But I hope you like this video. Sorry for the little, not necessarily rant, but there is some people out there that still really don't understand how I actually do stuff on social media and YouTube. It does make me laugh, don't get me wrong, but it's all a good time. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one.